Hey everybody, what's up? This is your host Afzal and you're watching channel Code X. Today we are going to create this list view inside Flutter. If you are following the clock app series, you know that we have created the dynamic clock with custom painter, we have created the navigation menu and the dynamic page to show the clock widget. In upcoming videos, I'm going to show how to integrate local notification and I upload on regular basis, so consider subscribing if you haven't already, and we are going to start the tutorial right after this intro. So we are inside Visual Studio Code. If you have seen my last tutorial, you know that I have written this logic. So if you click on any other icon than clock, you will be displayed with upcoming tutorial. So what I have done in this tutorial, I have bifurcated the pages. So basically there's a clock page, there's an alarm page. So alarm page as of now is empty. And for clock page, I have shifted all the code from home page to clock page. So today we are going to go and modify the alarm page, and as you can see currently it's empty. So first I will start with the basic title. I'm just going to copy paste the text because it's very basic widget, you all are aware of it, and if you're not, then you can go ahead and check my previous tutorial. Now if I reload the project, you can see that the text is hiding behind this top notch. So for that we can use, for now let's say that we use a main axis alignment of center, and you can see the clock. So let me just modify it to the title of the page, which is alarm. And now we will move to the list view, which is the main component of this page. So some of you have commented that what is the use of different constructor of ListView. So let me tell you that ListView has default constructor, the builder is there, and there's a separator and there's a custom. So if you have limited number of elements in the list, you can use ListView directly. There inside children property, you can assign all the elements. If you have a dynamic range of list like infinite numbers, you can use ListView.builder. And if you want to add separation between two elements of the list view, you can use listview.separate. But for listview.separate, you have to have a fixed number of elements. Like say for example, you're showing setting page or about page where you want to display fixed number of elements. And there's a ListView.custom where you can have your custom sliver element and you can customize the list view as you want. That's all about list view. Let's move to tutorial. Now to use list view, we need a model because we will be iterating through the elements. So what I'm going to do is create a model called alarm info, and here I'll place all the properties. So let me just quickly pull in all the properties. So I'm going to use date time for alarm, description, and whether it's active or not. And we'll also have to create a constructor so that we can create an object of this class. So alarm info, alarm date time, I will make it compulsory, and optionally you can pass description and you can pass other information, which we will do it later in this video. So we have the model ready. Now we need to create list items, right? Inside list view, we will be passing list of the objects. So here in the data.dart file, I will create a list of alarm info, and let's say just alarms, okay? And here I'll be defining all the elements. So basically this is for demo purpose. In real application, this information will be coming from local DB. So whenever user creates an alarm, we have to store that in the local DB. So the next time he comes to application, it should be available, right? So this is just for demonstration purpose. In next tutorial, maybe I'll cover that part also. So I've created a basic object of the alarm info class, and with that, I'm going to create the list view. So what I'm going to do is map the list like we did for the menu icon. So I'll just say alarms.map, and what it will do, it will create iterator which will iterate through each element of the alarm, and inside that we can return whatever we want. So I'll just say I want to return a container for each of the alarm element. And also we'll have to convert this map to list so that the children can match with the data type. And let's rename this element to alarm so that we can understand while reading the code. Perfect. So we have the first object, and when we reload the project, let's see what we get. Nothing. So the important thing here that we are using a list view inside a column. So it's always a good idea to make it expanded, like so that it knows that it has to take entire space, or you can wrap inside a container if you know the desired height. But still we cannot see anything. So let me just go ahead and modify the container with some color and height. So let's just give a random color like red, and I'll give a height of 100 pixel, and you can see that the element is there. Fine, the only thing is happening, the title is hiding behind the notch again. So what we can do, we can give a padding to the entire page, like entire this content view, and use alignment. So inside column, I'll say the cross-axis alignment I want to from the start. That's it. So it will start looking like our clock page, the title will be same, and now we are good to work on the list part. So now to modify the container, we will begin with decoration. So let's just define a decoration. As soon as you add decoration, you have to move the color from container to decoration element, because with color outside the decoration, you will get a compilation error, like you will get that red box, and I am sure that you don't want that. So move the color inside. If you don't want, just delete it, but it should not be outside. So inside decoration, I'm using a linear gradient with just random colors. I'll be modifying it later. And let's just do the formatting for linear gradient, from where it should start, from where it should end, all those stuff. And what we are going to do next is provide a border radius to this container. So let's give a border radius to this container, 20 pixel. I think it should be more, like let's make it 24 pixel. Now let's move ahead and remove the height property. So what will happen instantly, that the container will disappear. Don't worry, we are going to add children element. So depending on the size of the children, the container will get the height again back, and it will be the dynamic height depending on the children. It's not something hard coded. So in the children, I'm going to add icon, the text, and the switch element, which you can see in the design below. It's quite simple thing, so I'm going a little bit fast. If you want to learn about the basic of layouting, you can go ahead and check other tutorials which I have mentioned in the description below. And what I'm doing here basically is grouping some elements of the row so that it has only two elements. Like what I'm doing is grouping the icon, size box, and the text in one row and assigning space between. So what will happen, the first row will expand and the switch control will automatically move to the end. So that is a little tip over there, that whenever you want spacing like this, you can group one part of the element and you can separate other part of the element by using a space between. I hope this was easy and you people understood. So next in the container, we have this text which shows on which date this alarm is scheduled. So here again, I'm using the same text widget, no fancy stuff. You can easily like copy paste, or you can stop the video and you can follow along with me. And next in the bottom, there's a time for the alarm. For that, I'm going to use a 12-hour format. So like generally people set alarm for the morning, so it will say 7 a.m. like that. We will modify the font a little bit. I'll change the font size and font weight so that it looks nice, bold, and dynamic. And we will wrap this text again with the row, because there's a down arrow at the end of the time, and that icon is there to go to detail page. In upcoming videos, we will be covering that part, but for now, let's just design it. So this card already started looking good. The thing which is missing here is the shadow. Now we have provided the decoration. Inside the same decoration, we are going to add a box shadow. Remember, the box shadow is a list of box shadow. Like it doesn't make sense, it should have been named as box shadows, like so. Anyways, so here we are going to define a box shadow with some color and the blur radius, the spread value, the offset, how much on X and Y axis it should offset. Those all property we'll define here. And we can see that the shadow is looking like very bold, like it's not looking good. So I'll reduce the opacity. We can say that I want opacity of 0.4, and now it started looking good. So what I'm going to do now is add the second element inside the alarms list. So we will be having two alarms. Let's go ahead and hot reload the project. and you can see that we got the two alarms in the place. So there's a little bit of formatting needed. So I'm going to add margin in the container. So with the margin, it will start looking good again. Now for the gradient color, we are going to specify one property in alarm info so that each alarm we can pass gradient color explicitly. So in the data.dart file, we'll go again there and add colors. So here from data.dart file, we have a list of alarms. Here we have to pass the gradient color, but where this gradient color will come from. So in Adobe XD, I have defined all the colors. So that I'm going to add inside theme of our application. So let me go ahead and create a class. I will name it as gradient colors, right? And here I'll define all the colors. So let me show you the colors which I have defined already. It's depending on the theme of the application. So I've used a sky color, light color, sea color, mango color, and all those different colors I have used. So I'm just going to copy paste all those colors. Don't worry, the link for the Git source is in the description. You can go ahead and copy paste all these things, or you can just stop the video and follow along with me by typing all this code. So far so good. So we are back in the data.dart file again, and from here we will specify the gradient color for our alarm info. So for the first object, I will say that I want a sky gradient. For the second object, I will copy paste the same gradient color and we will change it to sunset. So now inside our container, we have to remove these hard-coded colors and use alarm.gradient color. And bam, when I reload, let's see, here you have a gradient color which is matching with our design. Perfect, isn't it? So I have a request for you guys. If you're enjoying my content, if you're liking my videos, I will request you to go ahead and buy me a coffee and help me to create more stuff like this in future. The link is in the description. You can go ahead and click on 1, 2, 3 and as many as coffee you want. And not only coffee, you can also buy me a pizza. So now let's go ahead and modify the shadow color as well. So from alarm.gradient color, whatever is the last color, we are going to pick that, and with reduced opacity we'll be using as shadow color. So we are into last part of the tutorial where we are going to add this add alarm button to our list view. Basically we can add below our list view as well, but it will not move with the list view. So what we can do, we can use followed by method, and there you can specify n number of childrens which will follow your list. So what I'm going to do, create a container with some random color again with height, and now you can see that it moves along with your list. So as your list grow, it will be like it will stick to the bottom of that list. So what is the advantage of this? You don't have to pass it from your model and check for the different types of model. Generally what people do, they create a property in the model and using that they differentiate between different types of element. But here we don't need to do that. We can leave our list as the alarm info and we can add as many as elements we want at the bottom of our list. So there's nothing fancy in this container. It's a simple column with an image. There's a size box for spacing and a text at the bottom. We can play around with this container as we want. So I'm going to make it a flat button because this is a clickable item and I want that material ripple effect. Now I'm going to add a little bit of padding to this and we'll also add decoration. Remember, we have a color outside, so we have to move inside for decoration to make it work. Alright, and here I have used a border radius so that it looks nice rounded corner as the alarm info element. And now one final thing, to add a dotted line outside this box, what we're going to do is use this package. It's really nice package. You can achieve different effects like this. I'm just going to add this library inside my pubspec YAML. Once you save, the library will be loaded and here we can use that inside our element. So I'm going to wrap our container and make it dotted border. Now you see that we started getting an error message because what has happened that when we map the list, we provided only one type of children container. So list is assuming that there's gonna be only one type of element, which is container. The way we can change is we have to specify that this map accepts all kind of widgets. and that becomes generic, like you can pass any widget over here. Now let's go ahead and add different properties to the dotted border. So I'm going to assign stroke width, color for the outline, border type, border radius, and then you can see that the button has shrinked a bit. So for that, we are going to make the container of infinity width, which will take the entire space available to it. And also you can see that when you click on that button, it has a ripple effect which is constraint in the body, and that is because of the padding to the container. So what we are going to do is move this padding from container to the flat button, and now it started looking as per the design. I hope you people have enjoyed the tutorial. In next video, I'm going to show you how to set up local notification inside Flutter application for Android and iOS both platforms, so that we can configure alarm, we can configure reminder, and all those stuff we can do. So that's it for the video. Make sure you hit the like button if you have enjoyed. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and go ahead and watch this tutorial if you want to understand the basic of layout in Flutter. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.